this is an example from one of Ansys tutorial. It's a barge model. It's got about 150, total bodies, and it's got about 10,000 or 11,000 edges. So what I want to show you in here is to show how long is it going to take for us to share topology, or even attempt to share topology, and compared to how long it's going to take it to mesh it in using batch connections, right? So I've got the space scheme model up here. So I think most of the people should be familiar with this process. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and share topology. What this is going to do is this is going to print overlapping bodies and check for intersections, and just to check what's there to share. Even this would take about a minute to complete. So in the meantime, I'll go ahead and open my barge model. Right. I've got a connect set up here already. It's a worksheet connect, so I'll just show you guys what I've got. So I've got an all-to-all of 70 mm as a tolerance. I've got another all-to-all of 45, right? And I've got another free-to-all of 90 mm as tolerance, right? So I wouldn't get into this. If you guys do want to have a deeper look at the model, let me know. It should be available in the training material, which will give it to you if need be, right? I'll go ahead and generate the mesh for this, right? So this is going to take about a minute to generate the mesh, right? Let me go back to space claim. So as you can see, the space claim is still searching for coincident, coincident faces, intersecting bodies, and what else to share. So this is even before me hitting the green tick, right? So now, it says 8 faces and about 10,000 edges to share. If I hit the green tick, I've already done this. I'm not going to do it now. It's going to take roughly about 6 to 7 minutes, right? And I think after 6 to 7 minutes, it completes, right? So again, it's just to show you how things are sped up with batch connection, right? If I hit this, it's going to take about 6 to 7 minutes, but I gave up after that, so I'm not going to go ahead with this. Whereas if you go back, so I just pressed escape. Let me go back to my. So this should take, I think, roughly about 50 seconds or a minute. It should be done anytime. So as you can see, we've got a fairly large model, right, consisting of beams and shells, like a lot of intersections. I'll be showing this right now. So it's pretty fine. We don't need the body to be this fine, but as you can see, that took a minute, whereas in space we couldn't even share the geometry, within a minute, right? Let me just go ahead and hide the external hull surface. So as you can see, there's a lot of small edges, faces, intersections, and so on. I should have touched on this before. Yeah, you can perform intersections as well. I've talked about it under the features list. So I had that turned on here, right? As you can see here, there's a lot of faces. Let me go turn on the connectivity to check for the connectivity as well. Right, it's just going to take some time because it's a fairly large model. So there you go. Things like I've checked. I know I went through this model and checked everything one by one. So you just have to take my word for this. But as you can see, things are connected. You can see, there's an intersection right there. It's handled it pretty well. It doesn't have any extremely skewed elements. Same thing for here. You can go and inspect the body. The reason this is triple is when I hit the external shell, that's a sharing element with the external shell, 2 other elements, and that's why that's triple, right? So as you can see, batch connections technology right now, moving on from 2021 would be the go-to measure, and it'll be extremely fast, and the meshes, the mesh would be uniform. It's going to respect the global sizing that you give here. So if I decrease it, I need to go ahead and remesh it. It's going to respect that. But we would recommend, I'll be showing a few examples, more examples of overhangs and stuff as well. But we'd recommend for you guys to clean up your geometry in space clean, and then bring it into batch connections and go ahead and mesh it, rather than doing the majority of the cleanup in the meshing side, right? It's just a little bit more cleaner, the geometry. The mesher will take a lot less time as well.